Hello YouTube and welcome back to Las Vegas, Nevada, site to race number 13 of the NRSL Coke Vanilla Cup Series season number 5. And join me once again, fresh off the blackjack tables, is Stephen Paul III.
Damn right. Ready some racing in Vegas.
And on the pole today, if you didn't watch qualifying on Thursday, is Steve Pollard driving the number 98 Valvoline Dodge, and he'll start alongside Dylan Young. Row number 2, we'll see Kyle Matthews start alongside Samet Ozkan in the defending Owners Points champion ride, even though not doing as hot this year. Bill Bragg Jr., the rookie points leader, will start in row 3 alongside William Duncan with no sponsors on the car this week. Jeffrey McCullough and Matt Dixon make up row number 4, the Martinsville winner. And Sky Commons and Mark George will make up row number 5, two drivers both looking to get their first win of the season. And here's the rest of the starting grid as I hand it over to Steven.
Well, it's going to be probably a tame race, just like the truck race, probably. My pick is going to be Bragg to win because Braddock is 207 points out with Jackson and Washer starting in the back. This is a good race for him to gain. And Steve Pollitt's last few weeks, he blew up at Martinsville, crashed at lap 1 at Coke Zero, DNQ'd Lowe's, didn't run good in the All-Star race. So I'm expecting Steve Pollitt to run into issues today.
You never know. Points coming in. Not much to report on as the final row has Allie Nelson, who's starting at the rear of the field, and Charles Jackson, the points leader there on the final row. Jackson has a full race lead over Chris Washer as
Monster.
Here comes the command.
Drivers, start your engines.
We'll get to the onboards first then, actually, and then we'll mention the points. Charles Jackson will be carrying the Dodge onboard. Okay. Chris Washer's carrying the Chevy onboard. Tristan Wilhoit, the Ford onboard.
I swear to God, Steve blew up.
Bill Braddock Jr., the Toyota onboard. Vince Amarego, the Menards onboard camera. Well,
Amy Shelley with the Exalta.
the Altel onboard.
God damn it.
Qualls the FedEx onboard. And Dylan Young, the Pepsi onboard.
Well, Charles, someone must have made a bet with the camera company or something.
So, Amy
That's the first fail of the week. We need to go back to the blackjack table.
couldn't even do that again if I tried. Points coming in. Charles Jackson has a 156 point lead over Chris Washer, 189 back to Will Hoyt. Braddock, Vince Amarego, the top 5. Amy Shelley, James Qualls, Dylan Young, Sam Young, Levi McIntyre, the top 10. As the Holiday Inn's 400 is green. I think that was what it is. It's something in 400. I don't remember.
Something in 400. Binky's not in the race, so we can't make that joke.
The America's Best Value in 400. That's what it is.
That was a good start for Steve Paul, but I gotta say, the 8 car, if it wins, that's the most fittingest win car I've ever seen.
Yeah, it would be. In all honesty, I'm not even quite sure what to expect from this one. This could go really badly, or it could be an excellent race. I don't know. Either way, William Duncan now trying to go inside of Oscon, as those were teammates, not going to get there. Meanwhile, Dylan Young's going to take the lead.
As my prediction for the win coming to the field is Bill Bragg Jr. I don't think Steve has got a good enough hold to be. Well, maybe not.
But Braddock definitely didn't have the momentum there through 3 and 4. Matt Dixon, though, trying to use some lessons from the All-Star race using that outside line.
I think whoever had the bet for Dylan Young to lead lap 1 definitely made a lot of money right there.
Probably. As Kyle Matthews now tries to take 3rd away from Bill Bragg Jr.
Now, as we saw in the truck race, Zorline was the pole starter, fell back a little bit. Let's see if Steve holds off his tires to come back to the 24.
We'll have to definitely see that, as I would expect maybe one pit stop period today. I would expect the drivers to have to pit today. We'll see.
Well, if Steve Paul wins the race, he's guaranteed last place in points.
Well, the team itself, that they're trying to get out of the cellar. They are 55th in the owners' points coming into this one. So,
Will, there's still reports Robert Pollard is still in the cellar.
Well, that too. Kyle Matthews, though, does grab third away from Bill Bragg Jr., who's going to hang on to fourth, it looks like, from Ozcon.
As we saw in the truck race, some terrible people in points are running well. Ozcon is terrible in points, running pretty good right now.
Yep. Field kind of getting single file, which was definitely not what I was expecting.
I was expecting more of a wreck fest, but you know what? I got to stop making predictions.
Well, no, what it is, you make predictions, and we know the opposite's going to happen.
So I'm going to predict Binky to win every race then.
That way it ensures it never happens.
Exactly.
As Muhammad Zain Abdullah battling with Tim Randolph for the 12th position there. Jack James desperately needing a good run here. 31st in the owner's points coming in for this team.
Well, you should have heard Charles' Elvis impersonation on the strip.
That definitely never happened.
We got video footage.
That never happened. That never happened. Jessica Shelton now going for 16th on Sam Young. Not going to be able to get there, it looks like. As here comes Zach Flickinger now as Amy Shelley joins the race.
We get an onboard of that.
Oh, no, that's Will Hoyt. What?
Well, it looks like Will Hoyt is...
As the 23 is 2 laps down.
Well, it's definitely rigged now.
What happened there?
Well, I guess the backup car did not start very well.
So, Amy Shelley has joined the race. She is 4 laps down. As the mystery is what happened with Stephen Paul III and Tristan Woolhoit that has put them both 2 laps down now. As Pollard now having to, or Sky Commons now having to deal with the 23, I guess, is actually the better way of putting that.
Wonder if we had some lobster left over in the car.
Maybe. Although these weren't the cars that ran last week. Meanwhile, Tim Randolph grabs 12th away from Jeffrey McCullough.
It looks like the battle for second is heating up there, too. Nope, never mind. The 48 was pretty close last shot I saw, and then the 98's pulling away.
As they were pretty even the last lap, so not quite sure what would have happened there.
Now, the 98 has been around 3/10 to 4/10, so see if the 98 can close on Dylan Young. Dylan Young going for his first win this season, not his first career win.
But this would snap an 83 race winless streak if Dylan Young were able to win here today. 83 is approximate. It's at least 83.
Steve Pollard is game. We see the 48 gets to the back bumper, just can't do anything with Steve Pollard. Gets arrow loose right there.
I think maybe what we've seen, or maybe what's happened there is maybe he's gone to him or something and just has to check up. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
So something about this package right here is causing these cars to have to check up as they go into the corners, so worth keeping an eye on.
Race.
Huh?
We'll have another Martinsville race.
Well, I'm sure Dylan Young wouldn't mind winning one of those.
I'm sure Steve Paul wouldn't mind winning 3 races in 1 year.
Well, I mean, it's not a Martinsville race because they're at least making passes. Meanwhile, Stephen Paul III has been dispatched of... Where is the... Oh, never mind. He's in front of him. Okay, I just totally missed him. Never mind.
It's that unsponsored car just getting to Charles.
I'm expecting to find it and then having to look for the Caterpillar car again.
Well, the problem is right here. People keep I think Steve Paul's car is not... I mean, he's gaining on Dylan, but I don't think a 90 is like the 87 in the Truck Series. Not very strong at holding up the field. So it's going to take a few laps to get by Steve.
And actually, he's got an equal car to the 24 because he's basically matching him to the 100th on the lap times, so...
Now, it's going to come down if we have a pit stop, who can do it. Like we shot at Chicago, like we missed the last lap pass. But, you know, Charles Jackson was able to pass the 66 in there.
Yeah, that was too good of a race to actually realize we're on the final lap. Meanwhile, Kyle Matthews is to the back bumper now of the 98, but I think we saw this in the truck race. That's not the spot where you want to be making the move, is on corner entry.
Nope. I think the 98, like I said, holding up. But Braddock Jr. having a great run. If he can get by these guys, he's going to be in good position to gain a lot of points on Jackson.
I mean, he is the top running rookie yet again. If he's able to hold this, that would be his 5th time doing so. Although Ozcon wants to do something about it.
Well, I don't expect Jackson to get a top 10 either, because if Jackson only finishes in the top 5 when he gets top 10s.
Which, let's see where the 9 has actually gone up to in 16 laps. Let's see. Only up to 38th.
Well, he is not loving it right now.
And remember, I mean, he got one free spot from the from the 12, so he basically started 40th. And then he's gotten 2 free spots from the 16 and the 23. So, realistically, he's passed 1 car. Meanwhile, Braddock now to the back bumper of the 48 car. This would be a battle for 3rd.
Now, Steve Pollock's gaining, but the problem with Steve, he keeps getting under attack from who's in the 48 again, Kyle?
That is Kyle Matthews in the 48 car.
Oh, God damn it. Smet Ozcon, how about a great run for Ozcon? He's really struggling to make races the last month or so, and now running solidly here in a fitting paint scheme for Las Vegas.
And trying to see, that would be his first top 5 of the year if he can hang on to it. So that would be something at least.
Now it looks like Steve Paul has gapped the 48 because the 22 is all over the 20. The 22 is all over the 48.
Yeah, he has gapped him a little bit. We'll see what that can do for trying to catch. He's about 10th quicker.
Well, the real question is, I wonder how Sky Comets feels about the 98 running so well most of the races.
How Sky Commons feels, or
isn't Sky Comets in the 10 car?
that was last season.
Guys, I'm going back to New Hampshire.
Zach Rogers in the 10 is currently 31st on the racetrack.
Well, that was the first fail of this race.
And it's the second time you've made that same fail. Because you made that earlier this season too. Kyle Matthews way up on that outside line.
Well, that's going to help Steve Paul. He just got when the 48's behind him, he gets a little bit of a push and he loses time to Dylan. If he can just get that 40 out of the wake, if they could be fine.
Yeah, I think so. And Kyle Matthews probably just getting a little bit irked behind the 98 car as well.
Now, pit stops will be key. What does Steve Paul do on the pit stops? Will there be any cars in the way? It's a really big question.
I think one of the questions is, will they pit? That's one of the questions as well, is will they pit?
Matt Dixon running 6. I believe the last COT race he won, if I could be wrong.
Yes, the most recent COT race he did win, that was actually Martinsville.
5th, a win and a 6th. That's not bad. Baranowski's missed the Martinsville race, so he is running pretty decent right now.
Just trying to check through. Wow, we are all single file.
Okay, so now we're just going to find things to talk about, aren't we?
I think so. We'll watch up here because they're at least close up here, it looks like. They're getting, they're on the verge of being able to battle up here at least.
Well, Dylan Young's pulling away again.
Well, yeah. But, in all honesty, I mentioned, this could go really badly or really well because I hadn't gotten a chance to really test on this track too much with the cars. So, this will be made better next season. I can promise that one.
Well, Card Pollard has brought the lobster from the 89 crew up here, so me and Charles can share a little bit of it.
That's a week old. Are you sure? I mean, did you make sure to refrigerate it properly?
I hope so. It was a long flight from Loudon.
I think I'll let you have first dibs. If nothing else, I'll just go to the buffet tonight. They've got plenty of lobster down there.
I'm going to assume if we win our bets, we might have it.
Well, I mean, they were talking about being able to give us free rooms next year for this because of the players' discounts. So,
well, Binky almost won me $1 million for leading lap 1. So,
yeah, the little side prop or side bet. As here we go, there's the pit stops.
Now this is going to be key. Now, does 98 able to go faster? We're going to watch this right here. 98 got slowed up right there. Listen to Tad.
As Dylan Young, Kyle Matthews, Matt Dixon, William Duncan, Sky Commons, Mohamed Zainabdullah, Tim Randolph, Cole Deaver, Sam Young, many others pitting on this time around.
And also something to note too, the 24 Young's got a pretty good pit crew. The 98 has got an experimental pit crew, so watch out for that.
As now the 98, 22, and 29 will pit this time around.
Now what's going to help Steve a lot right here, he's got no traffic to deal with.
And the only cars staying out are the ones that have been on the lap down list basically today. Is Dylan Young first off pit lane for this group of cars, and looks like Matthews will be second, Dixon third, Zainabdullah fourth, and Sky Commons fifth.
Because if you get the lead out of here, that's it. There's going to be no passing.
Certainly would seem that way, wouldn't it?
Now Steve Pollard is on the right. Now let's see how fast Steve can do it. This experimental pit crew better get his ass out. He's got the number one pit stall too.
And it's going to be a hindrance to him because Bill Braddock Jr. beats him out of the pits.
Well, I picked Bragg to win, so it can't be that bad.
Now where's Dylan Young coming from? Because Braddock was quite a bit behind the 24. There's the pass for the lead.
Well, looks like Dylan Young is going to snap the 83 race winless streak.
It certainly looks like it is. Battle for second. Can Matthews get past the 22?
Man, Steve Pollard, I tell you, that developmental pit crew really went to crap.
So the field rundown now after pit stops. Dylan Young re-inherits the lead. Kyle Matthews now second. Bill Bragg Jr. third. Matt Dixon fourth. Zainabdullah in fifth. Steve Pollard sixth. Sky Commons seventh. Mark George, Samet Ozkan, and Tim Randolph the top 10. Zachary Fitzwater, Cole Deaver, William Duncan now to 13th. Stephen Powell III is currently in 14th, so he's back on the lead lap through all that. Osborne now trying for 15th, or is in 15th, going for 14th. So it looks like Pollard maybe showing that tires do matter.
Yes, very.
Flickinger, Jack James, Bram Patterson, Sam Young, Jessica Shelton currently the top 20. McCullough, Henry Sanford, Brock, Gardner, Washer. Looks like Baranowskis currently is in 26th. Pierce 27th. Will Lewis, Ali Nelson, Delana Bohemian. Will Hoyt is currently in 31st, but under attack from Mary Shelley. James Qualls to 33rd. Zach Rogers 34th. Plord, McIntyre, Seth Cole, Amy Shelley now back on pit lane, Chris Louvier, and Charles Jackson.
Oh, God.
Where's Dylan Young?
Well, that is a heartbreak.
Dylan Young is on pit lane.
Well, can we cue the Alexa, play the sad music?
So Dylan Young, with what can only be assumed to be a stop-and-go penalty on pit lane.
Or blew up.
I don't know what it is.
Can we explain this? Well, holy shit.
So Kyle Matthews has inherited the lead. His last win was the season ender at Talladega last year. Meanwhile, here comes Bill Braddock Jr. as it clicked out of the game for a moment.
Who I picked to win. But look, here comes Matt Dixon going for 2 in a row.
Tristan Wilhoit now back on pit lane.
Matt Dixon, wow. I'm impressed. As Steve Paul picked who wasn't absolutely crap, he would have won this race.
So Kyle Matthews now, can he hang on or can Bill Bragg Jr. find a way past him?
If you want to find Dylan Young right now, he's at the Golden Gate Bridge.
We're not going there.
Using the old Wally Dallenbach quote right there.
As now Braddock makes the move on Kyle Matthews going into turn 1. New leader at Vegas.
Now,
Bill Braddock Jr. to the front.
Now, Braddock, if Charles Jackson finishes 41st, that means he can get, I can't see the top of the board anymore, but
it's 207 points.
That's actually going to, if he would actually be gaining 140, so he'll only be like 60 points back.
Well, remember, he cannot lead the most laps, as there's his teammate now in front of him.
Um, well, crap. You know what, Steven? Hold up the field.
Steven has pit for tires now, apparently. Or at
Dylan
least his
Young.
pit for the fuel.
I think that's got to be the one of the biggest heartbreaks of the series, along with Kyle Snoski's cheated win in season 2.
Okay, so now Braddock has caught his teammate. Can Steven actually get out of the way of his teammate is going to be the question.
Well, we got new tires.
Maybe, maybe not. As still looks to be off the pace. But he's holding up. He's actually fighting it. He's fighting his teammate here.
Not for long.
As now Kyle Matthews will follow the open door there to get on by.
How about the top 5? The top 5 will separate less than a second.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Dixon now going to follow through, it looks like. Can he get close enough to be able to not do that?
Well, that's going to help Steve Pollard out. Well, this is going to lead to some interesting comments.
Maybe. So
Steve, wow, the 23 ran like 50 grooves up the track.
Yeah, true. So now top 5 clear, and Braddock is checking out on Kyle Matthews.
Oh my God, man, everybody in C Pollard's pit crew is fired.
Jackson now is up to 38th somehow. He's still the last car in the lead lap, but...
Well, I think it's going to look like I actually picked Bragg to win. I didn't jinx him this week, so it looks pretty good.
Hey, you got one prediction right out of like 10.
Well, I picked Kev to win at that race one time, and his mother, her mother, to win.
Meanwhile, Zane Abdullah now going for 3rd on Matt Dixon. He'll grit that spot easily, and Steve Pollard will follow through for 4th.
Steve Pollard not even going for 4th. He's going for 3rd.
Not going to get the 3rd.
No, but I'll take 4th after the rough month Steve Pollard's had. That's like the month of hell.
Meanwhile, can Cole Deaver get past Tim Randolph for 10th?
He's going to have to sing Jailhouse Rock if he wants that position.
Probably. As Fitzwater doing some good job here on padding his gap over 30th in points, because he came in tied for 29th with the 23 car, ironically enough. I think it's safe to say that Stephen Paul III will be a go-or-go homer next week.
Well, it's time for me to go to the Golden Gate Bridge.
The reason I say that is, where's the 4 running?
I love how you missed it's the white flag lap, Charles.
Yep, we did it again. Bill Bragg Jr. with his first career win, guys.
Yeah.
6 top 5 on the year.
Are we going to go Sony Cup Series on here and just do like a full race?
I don't know. I'd have a better eye if I was going for a full race. Top 10, Bill Bragg Jr., Kyle Matthews, Mohammed Zain Abdullah, Steve Pollard, Matt Dixon, Mark George, Samet Ozkan, Zachary Fitzwater. Did get Sky Commons at the line by a 10th. Tim Randolph there in 10th, so no top 10 for Cole Deaver.
Damn it, Elvis is mad. He's dying on the toilet.
And yet another caution-free race here at Vegas. So, interestingly enough, poor day for Jackson there, 38th. Steven, your final thoughts?
Well, the driver council once again complaining about no passing, but it led to a clean race. No Tom Shelley flipping down the front straightaway this season. I picked Bragg to win. He had a good enough car. Steve Pollard, even though his development and pit crew was all fired after that terrible pit stop, finally ends the month of hell. Dylan Young with the heartbreak of the year. Probably the most heartbreak when Charles does his 12th year anniversary or 600 subs. That would definitely go into the heartbreak of the season. And next week we are going to Ontario, and I have to go across that damn border again. So
no, you don't.
Table for a few more
no, you
rounds,
don't.
And then we're leaving the fucking.
Unless you count going over the California border.
We're gonna go over the California border again, and we might bring the lobster too.
That is all yours. I am not touching that lobster.
It's
Bill Bragg. So congrats to Bill Bragg Jr. on his first career Coke Vanilla Cup Series win. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't today for more racing and gaming related content. For Stephen Paul III, I'm Gordon Fenton and 1, and I'll see you next time.
See you guys. Get the export.